Hi, it's Alex Morales, Realtor with Keller Williams Premier Realty out of Woodbury, Minnesota, here with episode 5 of FAQ Friday. Thanks for tuning in. I did take last week off from this video series. Business had picked up a little bit, and so I had to divert my attention and energy over that way. And also just kind of wanted a break and kind of get a little perspective on how these videos were going. So every now and again, I'll probably take a little bit of a break and then come right back to it. This is something I'm interested in keeping up with. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. This week's topic, I wanted to talk about a question that I get from time to time is how important do I think real estate brand is in real estate? And I think this is a really tricky question. That's why I wanted to try and tackle it, is because I think it's a really good question. And I think like most things in real estate, the answer is that it depends. Depends on who you are and what you're looking for that brand to do for you, for your clients, for the sale of your house, for a purchase, any of those different variables. And so I'm going to split the conversation, the answer a little bit into consumers and agents, because I think that there are some different things on each side of the industry that may or may not matter in terms of brand. So I'd like to start with talking about kind of the agent side, because for me, I do believe in the brand that I work for. Keller Williams, I think, is a phenomenal real estate brand. The reasons for it aren't so much what they personally, do for my clients directly, but for the things that, for me as an agent, they provide in terms of training and education, support, camaraderie, all of these things that help my business run a little bit more smoothly and help me learn to interact with and handle my clients in a better and more professional kind of a way, and support me doing the things and the creative things that I want to be able to do in my own real estate business. So from that perspective, the brand is very important to me because there are certain things that I buy into about the Keller Williams brand. A lot of things that I just mentioned, really. And there are things that when I was looking around and when I had first gotten licensed, were kind of missing, at least in one piece or another, from some of the other big and small brands, out there. To me, Keller really provides a great balance to their agents. They're very agent-centric and as such are very client-centric, and they believe in collaboration, coordination, win-win scenarios, so that real estate isn't as stressful as a lot of people think it is or have experience with a bad sale or a bad purchase. So I think as an agent, brand is important, and you want to be with a brand that is going to support you, and for how much Gary Keller is still involved in finding the direction for Keller Williams internationally is amazing. Partly due to his leadership and the work of the agents. There's well over 100,000 agents worldwide that work for Keller Williams. And this last year, we crossed a significant hurdle and line in the sand, which is that now Keller Williams is the #1 brand for agent count. We've been that way for a while, but now also #1 for closed transactions in the U.S. For last year across all real estate brands, as well as closed volume. And volume, for those not on the industry side of this, is the money. So we've closed the most number of transactions with the highest combined dollar value. That's big. That's big. And so there's a lot of collaboration that goes behind that, and the fact that you don't see big advertisements sponsored directly by Keller Williams, by our brand. It's a word of mouth thing. It's an agent thing. It's very agent focused, and to me that's important because I left a cubicle job that I wasn't happy with, and part of it was that I shouldn't have probably ever been in just a straight cubicle job, So we're all drawn to real estate in different ways, but it gives me the freedom and the independence that I need, while at the same time is a powerhouse of a company that I know that I can lean on, and I know that will continue to develop technology and training and education and just opportunity. And so as an agent, I love Keller Williams. There are other agents who love the brands that they work for too, and so I'm not going to knock it. That's why I'm saying it depends. This is just me and how I feel about brand, right? So that's agent side. On the consumer side, we'll split it briefly into buyers and sellers. So for buyers, I kind of racked my brain to see if brand was something that was super important or should be super important to buyers, and I can't think of anything solid. So do I think brand should matter to buyers? Not so much. And to sellers, a little bit more, but still not as much as it should matter to the agent. And the reason for this is a big part due to what realtors are. Realtors are not employees of the company. I am not a brand representative for Keller Williams. I am an independent contractor, and every realtor is an independent contractor, with the exception of a couple of newer kind of startup companies where they have more of an employee type model. And again, that may be really appealing to certain agents who want to go that route, who want, for example, a steady paycheck, and don't want the risk of kind of commission-only income, or want some health benefits and stuff like that, things that we don't normally, get. But from the buyer side, again, I don't think brand is super important. On the seller side, though, yeah, you want to be with a brand that is somewhat well known. And I think this is more of kind of a feel-good, kind of a thing. I'm getting a little bit off track. The point is, on the consumer side, it should and is more about the agent. You can have a really bad agent that works for a certain company, and I've come across expired listings where I'm reaching out to them to try and relist their home, and they didn't want to go with me. And the reason that they said, and it could have been any number of reasons, but what they told me is that they didn't want to go with a Keller Williams agent because they had gone with a Keller Williams agent previously. And to me, that's hard to not take a little bit, personally, because I'm so personal with my business. Obviously, I think you guys can tell from the videos, and those of you who know me and have worked with me can say that I take business, personally. And I think writing off a brand, if it's a regular kind of employee-employer relationship, or consumer brand relationship like in retail, I think, yeah, sure. Boycotting a brand, that makes sense. Because we're independent contractors, again, each of us makes our own individual decisions about how much we buy into the brand or what we're bringing to the table, whether we buy into the brand or not. As an independent contractor, we're small business owners, we're entrepreneurs, and so it's completely upon us and the decisions that we make on a daily basis about how we run our business that is, in the end, going to help buyers and sellers be successful or not successful. Now, the benefit of a seller going with a bigger name like Keller Williams, for example, or any of the other bigger ones, is that there is a bit more exposure, and there is some of that collaboration and some of that networking versus going with a smaller brokerage. However, I am not disparaging smaller brokerages because, again, it comes down to the agent. Just because you find an agent that works for a big company, and so you're like, yeah, I know this brand sells a lot of homes in my neighborhood, I'm going to go with them because they seem like a good brand, it's still up to that individual agent to perform. And you can have fantastic agents that don't have a big brokerage behind them, that are at a smaller brokerage, or have their own small brokerage, and they're going to be phenomenal agents for you. And I think the way of determining that is interviewing agents. And so that's actually a topic that I'm going to tackle next week, is how to interview a realtor, how to find out if they're a good fit for you or not. So anyway, I hope that answers some clarity, gives some clarity about my perspective on brand in real estate. If you have any follow-up questions or ideas for future FAQ Friday episodes, go ahead and like, comment, and share. Thanks a lot. Again, Alex Morehouse, Keller Williams Premier Realty out of Woodbury, Minnesota. Thanks for watching.